So this right next to me is this columbine. It is difficult to read like this. Aquilegia vulgaris. Clementine. Salmon rose. I love it. It's so beautiful. It's still flowering, although the flowers are clearly quite mature, like this one. It's still pretty though. And then we have some older ones, or younger ones here, but this is a seed pod, so I'm just going to cut it down here for now. Or just pinch it. It's very cute still, like even this seed pod is cute, but I want more flowers, so let's see if this helps. There are even some very tiny buds and some little teeny weeny buds. I'm going to take the seed pods off so that they're more vigorous. So there's one. There's one. I'm just cutting there because I don't want to cut these little buds off. Although I'm sure some people would just shear everything down. I can't. There's one right here. They're really pretty. They remind me of like crowns, maybe from Alice in Wonderland or something. Really pretty seed pods. Look, pincushion flower. One of the flowers has one little tiny flower. It's adorable. Okay, I had to come back to this columbine because the sun is making the grass glow, and it's just such a nice color combination. Also, it's nice when the flowers match your nail color, even when your nail color is withered like they are. Hey, turtle. There you go. Okay, so I'm over at the place where I volunteer, and I planted some columbine. It's a little different than the one I have at home, but I just wanted to show you the different stage of the plant so that you can see what I'm noticing in terms of growth and what will be growing next, and then also how to deal with dying leaves and things like that. Here is one of them. I think it's just called Blue. I just cut off the dead stems, and right below where I cut it, you can see little buds forming. Sorry, my hands are really dirty. There are some little buds, and that's where I cut. I could just take the whole thing down, cut this off. There's another bud. There are a bunch of buds, but here's a seed pod. So here are some stems. They kind of look ugly, but there are buds on them as well. That's why I left them. But if you look at the one back here, there are a bunch of dead stems. Some withering leaves, and then down here, lots of newer leaves. And so I'm just going to cut off everything above these newer leaves, except for these flowers, and they're actually new flowers. This was already blooming when I bought it from the store, so it was like forced to bloom to be sold, probably in the greenhouse or whatever they have. But anyway, so this is all new, so I'm just going to take the old stems, follow them all the way down, either pinch them off or cut them off, and then you'll see the difference in a moment. So these are all the dead stems, and I'm going to take them all the way down. The new leaves are like folded up. And another reason why I like to cut off the older leaves is because they tend to get, I'm guessing, powdery mildew. You can see that on these leaves. That could also be water hardened, hard water? Yeah, hard water stains, because this gets watered by the lawn sprinklers. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue to do that. I think I'm going to grab the stem higher up and shake it, and you can see which one of the stems down at the bottom belongs to the one you're shaking, because you know it's dead. You're grabbing a dead one. You could just use your nails to pinch. And that's what you're left with. Pretty flowers, clumps of new leaves, and they're all going to fill in. There's another one I planted, but it looks completely dead. And you can see, if you look down toward the dirt, I planted it a little bit too high above the ground, so it must have dried out or something. But I do see some life right in there, so I'm literally going to just cut everything off except for that green thing. So there you go, just a little bit of life right there. Doesn't look very pretty right now, but it will look something like this soon, or at least by next year. And this one also needs deadheading, because you can see these seed pods. They look like little crowns, or somebody had mentioned so aptly, I think, like little fairy wands on Instagram. So I'm just going to pinch with my nail, or I'm going to use these. Just follow the stems down to where there are buds. It's so hard to cut them off though, because they're really pretty, I think. And you could leave them and just enjoy them for what they are. since you can see new leaves growing in, it's okay to cut off these old ugly leaves. And it helps to kind of... Hi! You scared me.
Poor guy over there. How are you?
Good, how are you? Here is the yellow columbine. And it just has I think 3 or 4 little magic wands or seed pods that need to be cut off. There's one. Just going down to right here because the other flower is coming off the same stem. Oops. There. And then here's one. You can see there are already buds here and here. So again, just going as low as I can. And then here's one. Oops. The petals are interesting. They're like tubes or like little trumpets or maybe even like little fairy hats. And then down here, I think this is the last columbine that I have. This is one I didn't even know I had. So again, just cut. There's a little bud right there. So I'm just going to cut above that bud. Looks like there might be a bud there, so I'll just leave that. And there. Looks like there might be a bud here. It looks like there's a bud there. And definitely a bud there. Oh, there's one last one. Oops. There. Hey, so I just want to end this video kind of back where I started, I guess, with the first columbine. You can see there are lots of seed pods, but they're really cool if you look at them up close. Different, but cool. It was raining all day yesterday, so you can see a lot of the petals were knocked down. They're kind of stuck to the leaves. Kind of icky, I guess. But look how crazy these seed pods are. They look a little different than the little fairy ones from before. Still cool though. There are a bunch of little bugs on here. I feel like I shouldn't be watching you guys. I don't know what they are though. This right here was one of the little buds before, and maybe even the one I called Teeny Weeny. Here's another bud right there that's still gonna open. And there's a young spent bloom, I guess. I think that one's the coolest one. It's like a different world. If you look closely and you follow the stems, you can see that there are new buds coming out. Let's see, where is that one? You can see it on the screen, but I can't find it to point to it. Right there. And you can see also where I cut. I cut right there, and then there's a little bud. So because there's a bud, I'm going to cut this guy off above the bud. Okay, let's see what the seeds look like. Oops. That right there looks like bug eggs. It's tiny, 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 tiny. I wonder if it's butterfly or these guys.